I think we have to look at this perspective, no? That the South African government spent $6 billion on the World Cup infrastructure. But at the end of this, at the end of the World Cup, FIFA, a non-profit organization, have generated that income, the highest income so far, 3.4 billion. So that's a very important, that FIFA has earned a lot of money in the World Cup. But what's the problem now is the South African government, how they are going to maintain the stadium? Who's going to pay for the maintenance of the stadium? And another question is, there are 70,000 construction workers who build the stadium in South Africa, but after that building, they don't have work. So we have to look into account the issue of sustainable jobs. Okay, impact to workers. So little attention has been given to the workers. So look at it, $3 billion of income, and how much salaries has been given to the workers. Normally, you know that in the construction work, when you did better work after the project, you will have a project bonus, no, if you have done well. But here, that's not the case. No? Okay, let me go to our campaign, the BWI campaign for decent work. It's interesting to look at the timetable. No? Maybe from here, actually started a bit late. In 2007, already several strikes. Many workers are already complaining about their working condition, and there were 2 strikes in 2007. And our campaign only started in October 2007. Okay. So I guess here I heard there's already strike that happened, in one of the stadium. And then in 2008, the unions met FIFA in Zurich, and we have a negotiation, and we have an agreement that they will promote labor standards and they will allow us to visit, to do inspection in the sites. And in October 2008, the unions presented an across-the-board wage increase. But take note that the agreement, the national agreement, was only concluded in 2009, which is a year before the World Cup. So if you would look at it, 2009, the workforce has already dramatically decreased because it's already towards the finishing. So I think we should consider that now. If you want to have a collective agreement, it has to be early so that we would see it. We made sure more workers will benefit from this agreement. Okay. And then of course we have the inspection of the stadium. FIFA committed to conduct a joint inspection, but they never delivered that promise. We were able to conduct a joint inspection. It is because of the union was strong, and they were the one pushing to allow the inspector to inspect the site. I think it should be also interesting in your campaign here, inspection of sites, looking at the better working condition. It's a very important component of our campaign. It's preventive, so that we would be able to know what are the problems and it can be improved. Okay. And then of course we have the campaign. In May 2010, we handed over the campaign to Brazil. Of course, one interesting point here So did the campaign in South Africa stopped already? I want to tell you the campaign continued in South Africa on decent work, but it is post-World Cup. So it means we have to make sure and we have to promote sustainable jobs. So it means the 70,000 workers who lost their job after the World Cup, there should be another job. So this is a kind of discussion that we are working on with the government. So these are our campaign demands. I won't go through it. It's basically decent work, the right to organize, to bargain, living wage, quality of jobs, better working conditions, health and safety, and many other issues. You know that. South African Union can be said it was successful because of the organizing effort. I think the union should realize in South Africa, it was not easy. They used the machine. Well, the story is I think they have deployed 80 organizers. 80 organizers. Every day they are in the site recruiting. It's a massive organizing effort. And the union invested a lot of money for organizing. And you know what? At the end of the campaign, the union in South Africa became, the building union in South Africa became a strong and viable trade union. But they have to invest a lot of work. Next. If you will look at it, what are the impacts? We have more than 27,000 workers recruited and paying membership dues. What we say is these 27,000 are paying dues. Okay? And then it's a 39% increase in membership. And there were a lot of trainings, 24% are women. The health and safety condition has improved. There is a lot of international solidarity, especially from Sweden and Switzerland. And there was fighting for your rights. It's not easy. It's not for free. It's hard work, but it took them 26 strikes. And it forces really to have a national agreement that cover that and have an increase of 12% wage increase nationally. And then of course the issue of subcontractors and labor brokers. One of the good news after the World Cup, labor brokers are banned now in South Africa. It's legislated already. That is a very good achievement, you know? And then of course the World Cup free ticket. Take note, huh? They have 2 tickets each. We distributed 54,000 tickets. And one thing they failed to give me 1 ticket. This is really my disappointment, no? Just one important last point. I think it seems so nice and so easy, no? But the question is, what is really the major factors that made this happen? So I'm trying to be a football player here. So we have this. If you look at there are 3 main key players, of course, in the football. You have the offense, the defense, and the midfield. Okay. If you look at it, the most important, the offensive players are the unions in South Africa. They are really the one who's taking the lead of this campaign, and a lot of organizing work has done. But what is certain, I think it's important you have to take note, that they work hard in organizing and they have to struggle it within their political system. It means they have a negotiation with the government, they have a negotiation with the local FIFA as a whole national trade union, not dispersed, you know. I think that was really a successful, a solid national union. There are 3 construction unions, and they united and they negotiated with the government, with the employers, with local FIFA. They have engaged them. And I think that's one that made the difference. Of course, what's unique about this campaign, it is also international. The role of the international made a difference in helping the campaign of South African. So if you look at the midfield, that's where BWI comes in. And the defense is actually the unions from other countries like Sweden, Germany, Switzerland, because you know this is a lobbying also of their countries, their football teams, their governments. This is an international event, and they have done a lot. We were able to push FIFA because Switzerland, they are located in Switzerland, and we use the Swiss Union to get into FIFA. And then lastly, the role of the international union, in this case BWI, was very instrumental in making sure that there is a public knowledge about this campaign, that the issue of workers in South Africa are disseminated globally to the ILO, to the different international organizations. Of course, with FIFA, we have an agreement. It's not really a good agreement, but if we have to engage FIFA this time, and I hope we will be able to get a better agreement. Thank you.